you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so Grandma, we want to start out with the very first question. What is the appropriate age to introduce a child to house chores? Or is there something like that? Is there like an appropriate age, or would you counsel a certain age for introducing children to house chores?
Yeah, sure. And the appropriate age is actually defined by what the child can do.
Okay.
At 6 months, the child cannot even probably stand up.
Yes,
So the appropriate age will now be limited to when the child can talk, stand, and probably have recognition of the things around him or her. And that age falls between the age of 2, 3.
Okay.
The people we call toddlers.
Yes,
I think by that age, they already have a sense of recognition of colors, things, objects around them.
Yes, ma'am.
And then they can talk. And they can move.
Okay.
You can't send a child that cannot move on errand. So that's why I would define the appropriate age within that age, where those children are already active to some extent, between 2 and 3.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
All right, so for me, it's like I said, this discussion is personal to me because in my house currently is a war zone. And what do I mean by war zone? You call Kester, go and get these, the 3 of them, take off. That same errand you sent one person, the 3 of them want to do it, and they are fighting over who will do it. And sometimes their dad will say, you see these chores people are fighting over this time around. When you finally get to the age where you should take responsibility for it, and you don't do it, and we pack your things outside because you see them fighting head over heels. Go and bring this. Especially the youngest one. He's about 3. He's going to 4 in July. He's the biggest contender for chores in the house. So, and that brings us to the next question. So, do you have to wait till a child shows interest before introducing that child to chores, or is this something you intentionally plan out that by so age I should assign such duties to a child?
Thank you. That's a rather corny and funny question. In the sense that primarily you don't have to wait, because if you wait for some children, you will wait forever. Because it's not all children that are excited about doing chores. So in that one, I will say no, you don't wait. But I believe that even children that don't have the instinct for it, with consistency, persistence, deliberate action on part of the parents, the child might eventually come into it. But based on the experience that you have discussed, that happens in every home, in most homes that I have seen. And I have seen it with my own children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and so on. When you, even in my home right now, when you send the teenager to do something, she might not have had you, or she had you, but she was doing some other things. My little toddler, 2+, she will stand up and run to go and do even what she cannot do. So that one is really normal. It's called excitement. You know, that's why I said the age of activity. You know, they at that time they hear everything, and you know we usually think that children are not observant, but they are very observant. I will give an instance. The mom one day wore the dad's slippers, came downstairs, and looking at her, the first thing she said was, "You are wearing daddy's slippers." So what that already informs you that this child has the intelligence, the capacity, the ability, and what it takes to go on an errand. And do you know what eventually happened? I think She was now the one that went to bring the mother's slippers and took the father's slippers and returned it upstairs. So now tell me that you want to wait before you start educating that child, instructing that child, teaching that child, training that child. She's already ready to receive the training, the teaching, the instruction in doing those chores. Because by herself, she's already showing ability and attitude that she can do it. Okay, so that's why I gave that age initially as the age that we can start. But for waiting, I don't support it. Because once a child is within that age bracket, though there are different things you can allot to different ages. Like the 2 to 3 now, they can pick their toys. They can do cleaning. After the day, you tell them pick your toys into their places, put your shoes on the rack, put your dirty clothes in the laundry. They can do that. Then when they come up to about 4, 5, the level has changed. They can do something that is more intelligent than that. They can do other things like, feed the pet. You know, a little of mopping, just a little water on the floor, cleaning tabletops and things like that. They can do. They can pack the plates, take them to the sink, even though they may not be able to wash, because sometimes some of them, they are not even, their height is not up to the sink yet. But I have an experience where my own will carry stool and stand on the stool to be able to reach the sink. So those things happen. Then when they grow up again to school age of between 6 and 12, then they can do other things. Then at that age, they can be invited into the kitchen to help in making the meals. While the mommy is cutting onion, she can be cleaning the pots. While the mommy is making the soup, she can be dicing the carrots and things like that. You know, engage them in activities that is equivalent and matching to their age. At that age, they can do dishes. At that age. At that age, they can sweep. At that age, they can mop. At that age, they can sort laundries, even if they cannot wash. And funny enough, the technology is making things easier for us. Let me put it that way. Almost every home have a washing machine, but at least they can sort the clothes, the towels, the beddings, the white clothes, the heavily soiled clothes, the lighter ones, and so on. They can do all those things. At that age of 6 to 12. Then when they become teenagers, then their level has changed again. They can now start doing the laundry itself. They can put it in the laundry machine. They can put in the soap, because they will have been instructed. That is why I said right from the beginning, even the age 2 or 3, it is the parents deliberately, intentionally instruct, teach them and train them. So even all these stages we are talking about, they still need the parents in it, because they cannot just a child that has never used a washing machine, you cannot just tell the child to go there. A parent have to put her through or put him through. So at that age of teenagers, they can now go into other areas of chores, like a proper cleaning. I can now say, go and do my bed, or do your siblings' beds, do the guest room beddings, and clean the kitchen, mop the house, do the laundry, fold them, put them into their places. All these ones come up with age. I cannot tell a 2-year-old to do that, but a 13-year-old can do that. As I cannot tell a 2-year-old to go and do bed, I can tell a 13-year-old to do it, because over time that we have been doing it together, she must have gathered the experience. And that is why even these chores we are talking about, it's not just them. It needs participation of the parents, that will guide them, that will train them, that will instruct them.
Thank you, Ma.
All right, ma.
Thank
So,
you so much.
I have a follow-up question to that because for me, I had that personal experience, and also I've read online where that sort of issue comes up, where you have a couple, they are not on the same page when it comes to introducing children to church. So let me share my personal example. My first son, when he was about 6, then we were staying somewhere else, and I told myself, I said I didn't have a help or anything. So most times I need to get something. I will either start looking for a child in the compound or probably wait till my hubby gets back because I can't leave them and go out and all those stuff. So when he clocked, he was 6 plus, almost 7. I had to start sending him on errands outside the house. And my husband wasn't comfortable with that because he felt, with all these things happening around and all those stuff. And I told him, I said, if he doesn't start doing it, how would he learn? So he had his reservation, but thankfully my husband is someone that you can reason with him and make him see reasons with you. So I had to tell him, I said, let him go. It's not like he's going too far. He knows the people will buy stuff from. So sometimes I even call those people ahead of time and tell them he's coming. He wants to buy this, buy that, buy this. And he will bring it back. And before you know it, he became an expert. Sometimes I don't even have to call them again. I'll just tell him the things to go and buy, and he will buy it. And one day, his dad wanted to buy something, and he was the one that sent him. I was just laughing. I said, so now you can send him. But if I wasn't sending him then, and of course, there was an incident where we gave him money, and he misplaced 2,000 naira. He paid me that day. He pinched me on my phone. In my head, I was like, who sent you? Do you understand? But then I also used it as a teaching, a learning curve to teach him the importance of being careful and the value of money. So my question now is, in a case where, for example, let's say my husband was the type that doesn't reason, and he said, no, don't send my child anywhere. Don't let my child do chores. Don't let my child. There are some. Don't stress my children, or there are some women, it might even be the man trying to introduce, but the woman is having none of it. So in a case where your spouse is not on the same page with you when it comes to introducing children to church, how do you handle such situation?
In a situation like that, wisdom comes in. Application of wisdom. You know, because in as much as you want to train your children to do certain things, once you are not on the same page, you don't want to also break your home because of that.
True.
Because breaking the home and training the child, they are two different things. And in a situation like that, just like I said, you need to apply wisdom. And I think the wisdom you want to apply is not on the side of the child, but on the side of the husband.
Okay.
Which means you now have to find time to explain things to him, let him understand why these children have to be trained. Like you said, eventually, he himself sent him on an errand. So when you apply wisdom, you don't force things, especially where the two people are not on the same page. You don't force things. You let things happen naturally. And that is why the wisdom you are going to apply is probably when he's around, you won't send them on such errands until you have gotten him to understand your point. But when he comes in, you play low. But when he's not around and it's just between you and the children, you don't have to tell the children anything, though, because you are not trying to cause division in the home. So you don't have to tell them. It's only you knows that when their dad is around, they are not to go on errands. But when he's away, you can send them anywhere. And then that is applying wisdom on your own part without necessarily causing any friction or division in the home.
All right, ma.
Thank you, Grandma. Thank you very much, Ma. As I listened to you, I became curious. I had to look up the word chores. I said, in fact, let me not take it for granted that I even know what chores are, especially when I heard you say, once they can talk, they can hear, they can move. I said, so what does chores even mean? So I went to the dictionary and I found something very interesting. It says, a task, especially a difficult, unpleasant, or routine one. So it got me thinking that, oh, really, most times, or when we began to, do chores, you notice that sometimes when we are sent, we begin to cry. Sometimes we begin to mumble. Sometimes we begin to complain. That's because we see it as unpleasant, difficult, it's routine. So, Ma, yes, we we are taking it for granted that we know the meaning, but really, what are these chores? And so it's a 2-in-1 question. What are really house chores? What are they in actually? Are they really, as this dictionary has defined it, tasks, difficult, unpleasant, routine? Are they really, as the dictionary has defined it? Then 2, are there gender-specific tasks? So when I hear you say, at some point, mommy is cooking fried rice, then somebody is cutting the carrots, I'm thinking about Somi and I and our barracks. Should they be cutting the carrots with us? You know, should they also be sweeping? Should they be mopping? You know, when I say barracks, in case you're just joining in, Somi and I, interestingly, we have some men in shorts all around us. So, Ma, are there gender-specific tasks, and what are even chores?
Chores, the dictionary has it that way. But I see it as a regular, routine tasks, jobs, activities in the home that are necessary for making the home clean and orderly and organized for healthy living. That's what I see as chores. Because all that we have been trying to say, lay the bed, mop the floor, wash the clothes, do the laundry, do the dishes, they are all towards a healthy living. Having an orderly home, a clean home, an organized home that is healthy for both the children and the parents. That is what I see as chores. And it has an endless list. The list is endless. It can be anything. And as you said, I don't personally believe in this gender thing. And just as you said, everybody keeps saying what a man can do, a woman can do, what a woman can do, a man can do. And fortunately for me, I didn't grow like that, and I didn't raise my children like that. And the ones I raise are not raising their own like that either. So there is I don't believe in this established stereotype gender thing. That this is what a boy should be doing. Look at it in the world today. I'm a lover of Food Network. Most people you see on the Food Network, they are men. Men chefs. Doing wonderfully. And I remember my first visit many years ago to Federal Palace Hotel, when Federal Palace Hotel was the only reigning 5-star hotel. And we had to, it was a business luncheon that we had. We had some guests from abroad, and we wanted to have a mini conference with them with small chops. So we took them there, the board, the management, we took them there. And we asked for club sandwiches and all those things. And the people, the man that served us, it was a man that served us. And I had an opportunity to, me, I'm like my daughter says, I prognose too much. Everywhere I go, I want to go with something. I want to see something. I want to learn something. So being my first time in Federal Palace Hotel, then I was excited. I want to see what's the name. This hotel I've been hearing. So I had a little walk around. And I went to peep from their kitchen door, the back kitchen door. And I saw that most chefs there were men. So I said, wow, this is interesting. That affected my orientation about these kitchen things, even though I didn't grow with that. Because where I grew up, there was no man, no woman. And when I was growing, I did not demarcate, no man, no woman. And funny enough, my husband, in fact, you can ask my daughter, when it is cleaning day or servicing day, A girl is under the car. They do the AC maintenance all together. There is no difference whether you are a man or as the woman is taking the spanner, the man is taking the screwdriver.
Wow.
They are all doing it together.
Wow.
So this gender thing, I don't believe in it, and I don't think it is healthy for our children.
Okay.
And because let's look at an instance where the mother at home is having an issue, an health issue,
Yes.
and the children are toddlers. If the man has not been in that, does not know how to cook, ordinary to boil hair cannot, what happens to the mother?
Oh my.
So that's one reason.
Yes, ma'am.
Going on the road and your car suddenly breaks down, there is in a deserted area, you can't change your tire.
Wow.
So room for it in healthy living.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma. Wow.
Well, so
I can hear my brain doing tick tick.
It's been an interesting conversation so far. So of course we would like to hear your thoughts. Maybe you say, nah, no, grandma, I do not agree. Men are men, women are women. No problem. We just want to hear your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to like, subscribe, follow Digit 1024 Radio on all social media platforms, and the A.R.A.L Show also on all social media platforms. Remember, we've been talking about should young kids be introduced to chores. And okay, so I want to ask Grandma, because I'm sure someone out there might be saying, but the show is raising leader and Afrimums Raising African Leaders. What's the relationship between leadership and house chores? So do you think there is any correlation between the two of them? Why does someone who is being raised to be an African leader, why does he have to run? A leader should get people that can do it.
Okay.
So why should I as a leader be learning house chores?
Okay.
So what's the relationship?
So funny. There is a saying that charity begins at home. And what you cannot do at home, or what you don't do at home, you won't do it outside. The basic of human government is from the home.
Sure.
And what is government, especially when we come into democracy? Democracy says the government of the people, for the people, by the people. And if you look at the setup of a home, that's exactly what it is. Or is supposed to be. Everybody involved in everything. The father is involved. Because you are the father does not mean that when it is your wife is down, you cannot do the laundry. Because you are the woman and your husband is sick, you cannot buy fuel into the car.
Or turn on the generator.
Or turn on the generator. God bless you. You see, and then so also the children, because that's where it begins, the mother and the father. So if you already have that, and you pass it on to the children, who will become leaders tomorrow, they now know, they learn teamwork, self-reliance, accountability, and responsibility. And what do you look for in a leader?
All of these virtues.
These are all the things you are looking for in a leader. Accountability, reliability, responsibility, and teamwork. Because actually, leadership itself means you looking out for your followers.
Yes.
If you are not looking out for your followers, you are not a leader.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
You are a leader because your followers are following you. And they are following you because they approve of you. What are the things that make them to approve of you?
The virtues that you
The
possess.
virtues. Your accountability, your responsibility to them,
Your ability to
your
tell them as a
ability
team.
to work with them together
team.
as a team, your reliability that they can rely on you. And all these things starts from home with these little chores that we are talking about.
Wow.
So if you cannot get a child to do the little chores at home, how do you get the child to do the bigger ones?
He that is faithful in little.
Yes. So I am looking at it in a bigger picture, that most of what we see playing out in the society today is from the homes. Many homes, they have stewards, servants, maids, and all that.
Yes, ma'am.
So at the end of the day, a child will go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, leave it like that.
Yes.
The next thing you hear the mother do, Janet, go and flush that toilet for the child. What do you think you are raising?
An irresponsible fellow.
And so as if that child grows, what do you think that child is going to become?
Somebody who passes the buck. You do
Exactly.
the job.
So you do the job. I'm not for this. And that's why we see all our infrastructures in the state they are. Because from home, these children are not taught that these things belong to them and they should take care of it. And that's why we can't maintain any infrastructure. Go to our schools, what do you see? Broken louvers, toilets that are not working, taps that are broken, and all that.
School doors are broken. The benches.
Even in institutions, higher institutions, even in offices, all these things play out. So are you a leader when you are in an office and the tables are broken, the chairs are broken, the books are all in disarray? Are you actually a leader? You need something and it's taking ages before they can find it because the whole place is upside down. So the relevance of it is much more than what we can discuss here, or what much more than many people see or understand. But any government that we talk about, we start it from home. Raising leaders from home.
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you raise them if you cannot even begin to teach them these little things?
Wow. Ma, to be honest, I am deeply grateful that my children are still young. I feel like it's very reassuring that I'm not listening to this when they are maybe teenagers or youths. It feels like I can still rise up to the challenge. And it feels like we have the privilege, especially if you're watching us and you're a mother to young children, or even if they are teenagers. Like they say, the day you wake up, whenever it is, that's your morning. So, Ma, listening to you, I find that this is very encouraging and very inspiring. So now coming back to us, because it's like you just took us on a journey to 2050, 2060. Now, because while I was listening to her, I was imagining our children much older. So now let's come back to 2025. The reasons for which I have not really been allowing my children do chores are these. I was speaking with a friend recently, and I began to tell her some of my reasons. I said, number one, to be honest, because I know how they can be. They are boys and they are close in age. There's a tendency that, they want to play about it. So in the process, there's going to be lots of spilling on the floor, especially for dishes. There's going to be, and that will make me do extra work. Something else that came to my mind was, I really want, because it feels like 24 hours is not enough. So I really want to get it over and done with and feel like, let me move on to something else. So if I allow them, it's going to take more time. So that friend said to me, like in a joking manner, a bit funny, but she said, is somebody setting herself up for regrets? It rang an alarm in my head because I fear that word, regrets. Because regret is something that you can only live with. You can't change. Yeah. You can only say, I wish I did. But it doesn't change. So, Ma, a wise man once said that you know that something is wrong does not mean you know what is right. That you know that something is right does not mean you are going to do the right thing. And that you know that something is right to do does not mean that even when you will do it right. But Somi and I, we represent young intentional African mothers who are willing to do the right thing. So, Ma, you have shown us some benefits, quite all right, but is there a way you can help us see again the benefits of these tiny things? Because what I just heard you say is so big. is so grand. It's so, I mean, it's almost beyond us that if they can learn to wash plates today, they can learn to be beneficial leaders to the African future tomorrow. So what are the benefits, and how does somebody like me who has this mindset that if I allow my children to do chores, it will eat into my time, it will make me do double work, they will just play and I'll have to start shouting at them. How do I come out of that thinking to see the big picture, irrespective of the present reality?
Okay. I see it this way.
Yes, ma'am.
I know the mothers, the fathers of this age,
Yes, ma'am.
very busy.
Yes, ma'am.
But I look at it also, our own parents too were busy. And some of them were also businessmen, businesswomen, traders, even office workers, and they go to work, they come back. Exactly what we are doing now is what they were doing.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe just that the society was a bit saner.
Yes.
But then, if you are thinking in that way, you will probably never allow them.
Yes, ma'am.
What I can suggest,
Yes, ma'am.
even though you are busy or you want to do your things by yourself, as a dedicated mother,
Yes, ma'am.
as an intentional mother, you can create time or times within a week or periods that you will, for the purpose of training.
Okay.
If you want, because you are okay, they are going to school, there is a set time. You are going to work, you must meet up the time. If that is the case, and you don't have that much time in your hand, then you now have to purposefully dedicate a time for the purpose of training them to do these things. You will now know that this is for the purpose of instructing them, purpose of teaching them, purpose of training them, so that they don't lose out completely
Yes, ma'am.
on what they are supposed to learn. But come to think of it, when you do it together, it's even more interesting.
Okay.
Doing it together creates bond between the children and the parents. It's a fellowship time. It's a bonding time.
Okay.
When the mother is in the kitchen with the children, whether boys or girls, they are bonding. Questions will be flowing. Answers will be coming. Inspirations will come. And that is why it is important. It's not just the chores. It is what it does to the children and to the parents, which is part of the benefits.
Okay.
It creates the bond. And it makes the children also to know that running this home is not just my parents. It involves all of us.
Well, I'm also
They are
playing a role.
I'm
responsible
playing
for
a
it.
part in
I'm a
it.
stakeholder.
I'm not just a child. I'm not just a user. I am also part of it. I'm contributing to it. It gives them that sense.
Of responsibility.
Because after a time, it releases the mother also. Because that stress that you are taking now is actually eventually going to release it. Because all the things that you would normally have done by yourself, you now have them doing it for you. Gives you more time that you are thinking you don't have. Because all the things that you are normally doing by yourselves, they are now able to do it for you. While you have time, the stress is taken away. And then, not only that, you are now having a bond. And there are ways you can do that in the home, by assigning different things to different people at different time.
Okay.
Okay, while you are boiling the water, you be peeling the yam. While you are peeling the yam, you can be making the eggs. So that time that you alone will have used to do
this.
all these things, it has been shared. The fear of, will they do it well? Let them not do it well.
With time.
With time they will get it. And then you don't judge them. You don't judge children when they don't do it well. Allow them to make their errors. That is another opportunity for you to correct them. this soup, too much salt, too much this. Eat the soup, then you can now say, if you have reduced the salt, it will have been tastier. Or if you have added a little more pepper, we will have enjoyed it. After all of you have participated in the meal, and you tell a child that, the child is looking forward to another time that he will do that correction. So I think that this attitude of let me do it quickly, so that it's going to deprive our children, the children of the 2025 that you are saying.
Yes,
it will
ma'am.
deprive them of a lot in getting what they need to get, and in becoming, because look at it nowadays, children are going away from home. Spinsters outside. Your daughter could be in Port Harcourt. Will you be going to cook for her there? Your son is in Sokoto. Will you be going to cook for him there? They have to. If they don't have that responsibility from home to do it, what happens when they are not at home? When they go out of the house? You can't do it for them. And nowadays, unfortunately, all these helps are even becoming scarce to get.
Yes.
Even those you get, they are becoming unreliable and dangerous.
Yes.
So what do? We need to teach them. We need to get them to be able to do these things for themselves, which is helpful to them. It makes them to become relevant
Yes.
to whatever age they are, and independent to whatever time they are in their lives. You are building them for the future, and you are preparing a rest time for yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
In doing that, because at the end of the day, James, what's your son's name? Kester, can you please check what is boiling on the burner? Idaosa, I left so thing under the table. Can you check it for me and take it to this so place? Did you stand up?
No, ma'am.
Did you stand up? But you got it done. Are you stressed?
No, ma'am.
No. Did you save time?
Yes, ma'am.
Because that time you are sending them away, you are probably even sending an email that has to do with your job or your business or something. The stress is taken away. Your time is there. Is saved. And they, on their own part, they are learning to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, independent. They are building themselves to become responsible. They are building themselves to become leaders. Because wherever they find themselves in the future, they will be able to cope.
Yes, ma'am.
In the future.
Wow.
Hey.
So at this point, we have to let out steam. Remember I told you, I said this is not just your regular A.R.A.L Show.
No, it's
this
not.
Is like ancient wisdom, liquid wisdom. And we're not talking about things that when she talks, you can feel the passion that this is not something she read from the pages of books. She's talking about her personal experience. And the truth is, I actually have some few questions, but it's just as if, the sage wisdom is there because she has actually answered all the questions in the course of answering this other question. And for me, I am picking a lot because, for example, the kitchen, when she talked about the kitchen, that's one area we restrict my children. As in, every time their father is always saying, I've told you, don't go to the kitchen. Not because he doesn't want them to acclimatize themselves, but he's just scared of one person turning on the gas, one person doing this, one person doing that. So there's just that fear. But what I heard her say, especially with regards, because it seems we have similar reasons why we don't really engage our children in chores. Although mine, I have some specific chores, but it seems like there's still that restraint, or this is where we don't cross the line. But it seems what I'm hearing her say is just like someone saying, I earn a little amount of money, so I can't save. The truth is, you will remain at that level. But if you're able to now sacrifice a chunk of that salary, for example, and save it, then invest it, you now have more money to do what you want to do. So it's just like that's what I'm hearing Grandma say, that this time you're complaining you don't have.
why not take a little out of it, invest in these children, and at the end of the day you reap the benefits, which is more time, not in the sense of more 24 hours, but more time to do other things without being encumbered by the whole stress of chores and all those stuff. And for me, it's like, you know, when they say eye salve has been rubbed on your eyes and you see clearly,
Veils taken off.
yes, I begin to see clearly that yes, it's just like an investment and I have to make it. And the self-sufficiency part, very important, because right now you even have children that are way younger leaving home. I, for example, I left home for the university at 16 plus, and I don't think I ever returned home except on visits after that. So you see them going. So if some things I didn't learn it then, I would have struggled with a lot of things. So, and that took me back. Okay, so Kester is 8 now. So let's say he toes my line and he's going off to university. That's like another 8 years. I have to get him. So you see, it's
overdrive.
Yes, it now places a sense of urgency when you're able to place a number to it. And I want to say thank you, Grandma, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers will be grateful for this insight, because it's just like you're not imposing your opinions or not. You're just trying to get us to see things clearly and now make the decision for ourselves. Which would you prefer? 10 years down the line, you're still struggling with chores, or 10 years down the line, you're able to sit down comfortably and you see your children running the show, and most times possibly without your input anymore, because they now know what to do without being told. It's not like your
better.
home. Yes, it's just like your home runs on autopilot. Like my mom came recently to this thing. One meal she always struggle with is fried rice, and she saw me making fried rice and she said, you will teach me how to make fried rice, and this is the woman that taught me how to cook.
Exactly.
Do you understand? So you see that it's like she said, it's a mutual responsibility. And another part that I've never really seen that she mentioned is the part that actually the smallest, we talk about arms of government and we say executive, legislative. I've never really come down to see it that family is actually the smallest arm of government ever, because you see that hierarchy at play there, and you also see the fact that everybody has a role to play, that to see that this particular family gets to where they want to be. So thank you so much for the insight, as in it's a it's a wow moment.
It's an insightful insight.
So, and for me personally, I would probably need to sit down with this episode and I'll take my pen and paper, not as the host this time around, but as a viewer, to also learn and make my own notes, and of course make my own decisions and resolutions from there. So as we round off the show, so over to you, Zoe.
Okay, so thank you so much. So I'll say a few of my takeoffs, then we'll ask Grandma as well for her final words. Then we'll soon call it a day. So I read out from the dictionary a definition, right? And it says a task, especially a difficult, unpleasant, or routine one. But the big question is, does it have to be this definition? The answer from what we have gotten is a big no. Why not? Because if we can teach our children very early, very naturally, and very, should I say simply, that we are trying to achieve a healthy home for you and for me, and we are doing it together, then little by little, perhaps all that will be left of this definition is routine and maybe happy task. So maybe we'll take out little by little, we'll delete the word difficult. Little by little, we will delete the word unpleasant, so that by the time our children are 13, rather than grumble and be angry about a task like some of us were, what we would have done is we would have laid a foundation where our children realize that it's our home. I'm cleaning it because it's my home. I am cooking because it's for my family, it's for us. So that's the new definition that we should work towards, redefining chores. And how are we doing it? By involving our children in it and making them see the value of it. Right now, they might not understand definitions, but we now have an understanding and we have a goal and a target. So something else I've seen is that, Zoe, stop procrastinating. The procrastination comes in the fact that I feel like, I don't have time today. And then tomorrow comes, I don't have time today. And tomorrow comes, I don't have time today. Before you know it is 1 week. It was 2 weeks ago on this same show. I said, yes, I'm going to allow my son wash plates. And 2 weeks later, I've not done it. So, but now grandma has shown us that I do not have to keep procrastinating. Why? Because like Somi has calculated, I don't want to join your calculation. 8 plus 8 equals to 16. If you have only 8 years, my sister, run. Thank God. Yeah. So our children will soon be out of the house. So now is the time to do the work. Grandma, my heart is so full of gratitude. Somi and I are so grateful for ourselves and on behalf of every viewer. So please do not forget to comment right now and tell us what you really think about what you have gotten. And like me, remember to stop procrastinating. And remember that regret is something you live with. You cannot change, and we don't want regrets. So Grandma, please, any final words, ma?
Thank you.
Yes, ma.
My final words is they are not actually final, but for the purpose of this program,
Yes,
they
ma.
might be final.
For the purpose, yes, ma.
You see, the dictionary definition that you are giving,
Yes, ma.
unpleasant, difficult.
Routine. Task.
No, the
Okay.
routine, you can't leave it out.
Okay.
Why many children see it that way is also because of the attitude the parents put up,
Okay.
or the way we are training them. Some homes make children to see chores as punishment.
Okay.
So when you make a child to see chores as punishment, you are already making the child to see it as unpleasant
Difficult.
and difficult, because punishments are supposed to be unpleasant. Punishment are supposed to be difficult. So when you are making a child to see it as that, then it becomes difficult and unpleasant, and may also make the child to lose the natural interest
Okay.
in doing the chores. But if you take up the responsibility, the determination, the dedication to do it together, to teach them pleasantly, like I said, making it a bonding time, making it a recreative time, making it a you can even make it a game in the house. Like sometimes when I want to make my grandchildren to do some things, I will tell them, okay, you count your own, you count your own. Either clothes or shoe polishing or whatever. You count how many you have done within a particular specified period, and then you see competition.
And the job is done.
And the job is done. And then you can also share it. Okay, sometimes their mom will say, okay, while you are drying the big ones outside, you'll be doing the smaller ones in the inside dryer. You see, you create opportunities that will make them to see these things as our own. Because actually there is their clothes, the family's clothes, the father's own are there, the mother's own are there, their own are there.
Yes.
So it's not like you wash your clothes, I wash my own. No, we wash together because it's the same one washing machine. And we sort the clothes together. So I think coming home and making it interesting for them is the key to get them into it and get them involved. And also parents should also, like you said, you don't look at yourself, because that will be selfish to say, because of my time, because of my this, I cannot take time out to do this for them. That would be selfish.
Yes,
and as you said, in the future,
Yes,
it will become regrets. And there is no way you can do it all by yourself.
Yes,
You will crack one day. So don't do it by yourself. Let them join you. Let them do it with you. Make it a fun time with them.
Wow.
And it will become even more interesting.
Wow.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So on a final note, so in conclusion, the only way to take the unpleasant and the not palatable out of chores is make it a fun experience for your children.
Yes,
And like I said, for everything I'm listening here, I'm also applying to myself, because I just saw an error I need to correct. Most times when my children disturb me, the next thing is go and sleep. So, and as you were talking, I just begin.
You do that too?
I just what I heard as you were talking, even though we're talking about trust, is the fact that I am beginning to associate sleep, which is beneficial to my children, to punishment. Do you understand? So,
Okay.
so what that means is that they no longer see sleep as something they should do to replenish, to to reboot. They now see it as something that is a punishment for disturbing. So, and that is the same thing with chores, from what grandma is saying. When you now make it seem, oh, because you did this, you must wash your clothes. Because you did it, you must. You're converting that chores into punishment, and the child begins to associate punishment with that. So, for us out there, there's always room to do better. We know better. Definitely, we should do better.
Yeah. Wow. So, Grandma, so from our partners, A.R.A.L Organic, this is one way we choose to say thank you.
Yeah.
A.R.A.L Organic is a richly African product. It's made of palm tree extracts, honey, and shea butter extract, as well as vegetable extracts. This is a beauty soap. You have not just come to share words of insight with us. You are giving us bits and pieces that will make our lives beautiful. So this is our way of saying thank you, Ma, and we hope that this also adds extra beauty to your skin. So if you are hoping to order from A.R.A.L Organic, you can reach them on 080-2366-3906, 002-366-3906. That's A.R.A.L Organic. So, Grandma, here you have yours, Ma. We want to say a very big thank you,
Thank you,
for
Ma.
being
Thank
with us
you
on the
so
show
much.
today. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Ma.
And I also thank A.R.A.L Organics
Yes, Ma.
for the beautiful gift.
Yeah.
I will use it and give you feedback.
Yes.
And thank you, A.R.A.L Show,
Yes,
Yes,
Ma.
for the opportunity you have given me.
Yes, Ma.
I wish you greater heights.
Thank you, Ma.
Amen. Thank you very
you,
much,
Ma.
Ma.
Thank you.
All right, so this is where we will call it a day. We'll drop the curtain. So wherever it is you're joining us from, please do not forget to comment and to tell the world that Africa is coming.
All right.
From all corners of Africa, rise from your slumber. The time is now. Lift your voices, take action, make your mark. Intentionally raise. Afrimums from all corners of Africa, rise from your slumber. The time is now. Lift your voices, take action, make your mark. Intentionally raise the leaders of tomorrow. This is the A.R.A.L Show, where we plant the seeds of greatness in our children. Africa's future, we nurture their dreams, empower their minds, mold them into the leaders our continent needs. A new breed of African leaders will rise, empowered by the love and wisdom of Afrimums. They will stand tall, face challenges with courage, transforming our nations one dream at a time. This is the A.R.A.L Show, where we plant the seeds of greatness in our children. Africa's future, we nurture their dreams, empower their minds, mold them into the leaders our continent needs. Afrimums united in purpose, we stand strong, lifting each other.